today's video we'll discuss about lookup. So lookup is a transformation object. Use it to search for specified data in specified object. So mainly it is used for searching purpose. Now here specified object means it may be a source, may be a target. Sometimes you may search in the source table, sometimes you may search in target table. Now, is it should be a table means no, it can be a file or it can be a table, not a problem. You can search in a file, you can search in a table. Now, when you are saying that you are searching, that search may success, may be failure. So if search activity is success, then it returns its related data. If search criteria is success, then it returns the record related or that particular object related data. It returns related data. Else null value. It returns null value. But when you are saying that you are searching in a database table, means indirectly it is like a select statement which is fetching the data and we are comparing. Means for every hit it should go to the database, execute that select statement, fetch the data and compare. But if you do like that, the performance will be affected. So usually we'll extract the complete object's data into temporary memory called as cache. So lookup uses cache or it works with the help of cache. So at the starting point of your execution, it fetches the data from database, keeps in the cache memory and search activity is done with respect of cache memory. But does this cache will reflect whenever any changes occurred on the physical system? Means no. That means by default it uses a static cache, means static lookup. But if you want to say for every hit the cache should be reflected whenever any changes are there, means then you have to go with the dynamic lookup. So lookups are of two types, static and dynamic. Same way, lookup transformation can be used in the form of connected as well as unconnected depending on the requirement. It can be used as a connected lookup as well as unconnected lookup. So depending on the requirement, try to use in any one of these forms. So we'll try to take a simple example on this lookup. I'm having a table called as an srs underscore emp and this table is having some data in this particular format. Like 7369 Smith is belonged to the 20. So 20 means what is the department 20? I want to know its name as well as where that department is located. So that data is present in another table called as an SRC underscore DEPT. Now corresponding to 7369 record, I want to know its corresponding department name and location, that is nothing but research and Dallas. So like this I want to pick up for all these employees. So for all these first 14 records, definitely I am having a department name and location, but whereas for this last record is belong to department number 50, but 50 is not there in the department table, so it will return null values. So I'll try to create a lookup on the department table and I'll take EMP table as a source table, and this complete data I should get into the target table, maybe in this format. This is the data. So we'll clear this data and we'll execute it, but first of all we'll design the mapping. Already we're having a source table called as an SRC underscore EMP, and destination table is also there called as an teacher underscore EMP underscore DEPT. Now between these two tables we'll try to load the data by searching in the department. So department table I'll take as a lookup. So we'll create the mapping. Mappings menu, create M underscore lookup, click on OK. Drag the source table, for example SRC underscore EMP. So this is the source table I'm having. Whatever the records you're getting from this particular source, I want to search for its related department number in department table. So we'll try to have a lookup object. So transformation menu, create, select a lookup, provide some name, for example LKP, some name, what you are searching department, so I'll say as in DEPT number, you are searching for department number, so otherwise I'll say LKP, click on create. Now if already where you are trying to search that table, if it is already present in your repository, select it from the repository. So maybe it is a source object, maybe it is a target object. So if it is a source, choose the source tab and you select it. If it is a target, then choose the target object and you select it. But right now my component is a source, SRC underscore DPT. So SRC underscore EMP as well as DPT, both are belong to the single system, source system only. So I want to search in the source. So if this table is available already in our source repository, then use it. How means, go to the source tab and you have to choose the table here. SRC DPT is already there. But for example, is it available every time in your repository? Means may not be. As we did some examples previously on the SRC DPT, it is showing here. But if you are first time you are working on that table, then the table may not be there in the repository. In such cases, you should go with an import. Go with an import from relational table. If it is a table, if it is a file, choose as a flat file. So for time being, I am going with the importing option, but it is not a mandatory. From relational table, from where you want to Place this lookup means from the source. So select the source connection, provide the username, provide the password, click on connect, and choose the table called as an SRC DEPT. Click on OK button. Click on done. So we have created a lookup object. Now I want to search for the department number, means I need to pass that value. I need to tell which number I want to search. So that means we need to have an input parameter. Here what are the three fields we are having, three ports, all these are output ports. But until you are having an input, you cannot search. So drag the depart number from source qualifier to lookup. So this becomes as an input port, but already DPT-NO is there. So this will become as DPT-NO1. So when you drag it and when you release it, it is representing as DPT-NO1. Now double click on this lookup, go to the condition tab, add a new condition and specify the condition as department number is equal to department number 1, what you got from previous object. Then click on OK. After that, take the target table TGT underscore EMP underscore DEPT and map the ports from source qualifier like employee number, employee name, salary, commission, department number, and department name and location. I'll take it from the lookup object, department name and the location. After that, save this mapping. So mapping is ready. So next thing is we need to create a session and we need to create a workflow. So I'm trying to open the workflow manager. In the workflow manager, connect to the folder. Maybe go with the task developer. Tasks menu, create. But is it necessary to create in task developer? Means not required. You can create directly under the workflow designer also. But if you create being in task developer, that becomes as an reusable, so you can use it into multiple workflows if required. So I'm going with the tasks menu, create. Select the session. Here you are having only three things are there: session, command and email. I am selecting session. Then specify the name for that, like S underscore lookup. Click on create. For the mapping, what we have created just now called as an M underscore lookup 1. Select that. Click on OK and click on done. So the session is ready. Double click on this particular object. Double click on the session object. Go to the mapping tab. Provide the connections. Choose the source qualifier and come to its property. It's called as relational property, and provide the source connection, that is RC underscore source. After that, select the target table called as an TGT underscore EMP underscore DEPT. Select this particular table. Then come to its relational property. Come to its relational property and specify the connection. So target table is belonging to the target of connectivity. So click on this down arrow, select as an RC underscore target, click on OK. Same way we are having one more property called as an target load type. Specify instead of bulk, say as a normal. Select it and select as a normal. After that, click on OK. The session is ready. Now we need to create a workflow. So go to the workflow designer, workflows menu, create, provide the workflow name, like for example WF underscore lookup 1, some name. So it came with the start, but now I need a session object. Expand your sessions on the repository navigator. It's showing me s underscore lookup 1. This is the session what we have created previously. Drag this session object into the workflow. Then link your start object to this lookup. That means tasks menu, link a task from start to lookup. Already we are having connections within this session object, so directly you can go for execution. So first of all, save this and we'll observe the target table is already having some data, but we'll try to clear this data. Like truncate table tgt underscore emp underscore dept, select star from tgt underscore emp underscore dept. So it doesn't have any data within our target table. So we'll try to execute our workflow. So how many rows are there in the employee table? Means 15 rows are there. All these rows, for these rows purpose, we will perform search activity, but only for 14 rows we will be finding the proper department name and location, because they are belong like first 14 records are belong to departments 10, 20 and 30. Corresponding to that we are having department name and location. But whereas the last record, if you take it up 9001 Ravi record, it is belong to department 50, that related 50 is not available. So even that Ravi 9001 record, Ravi record will come into the target table, but it will not have department name and location. So 9000, total 15 rows will get, but only for the 9001 Ravi record we will not have any department name and location. That means it will have null data. Execute the workflow. It is showing me red colored cross symbol. Maybe connections are missed. How many connections we gave? For source we gave the connection. For target also we gave the connection, but lookup we have missed it. Lookup was what? For SRC DPT we have created, that is also a table which is present in the database server. So even for that we need to give a connection. So select the lookup and relational property for this value is RC source, because we are searching in the source. Click on that, OK, click on OK, then save it and then execute it. So workflows menu, start workflow, it is open the workflow monitor and it's showing me running process, and it's showing me that session is succeeded as well as workflow is succeeded. So check the output. So all the 15 rows will get into our target table, but only for the last record we will not have any department name and location. So 7369 Smith is belong to 20. 20 means what? Research and Dallas. Same thing here is showing in the target table. 7369 Smith 800, department number is 20, research and Dallas. Same way with other records. But only for the last record we doesn't got the department name and location because it doesn't have match record under the department table. So lookup is returning the proper department name and location if the depart number is existing. If it is not there, then it is returning a null value. Now for example, now our requirement is changed. What is that means? Whatever the records you are getting into the destination, for that it should have compulsorily department name and location, or at least department name. So if you got the department name, then only you have to insert the record. So how do you apply this process? Means nothing but you have to place a filter. Before placing the data into the target table, you try to have filter. So we'll try to add that. So I'm breaking all the links here between the source qualifier and the target. Now what I am trying to do is, I am going with the transformation menu. I'll choose create and I am selecting something called as a filter with the name called as, for example, F1. Click on create and done. Now I am dragging my source qualifier ports to filter, like employee number, employee name, salary, commission, department number, so these are the fields I got, and from the lookup I'll take the department name and I'll take the location. Something like this. Now if I doesn't got any department name, that means that record is not there. So we'll try to define a condition on that. So double click on the filter, go to the properties tab and define the filter condition. So what is that filter condition? Means I'll say is null function of department name. So here if department name is null, then that record will come into the next level. What is my requirement? If department name is not a null, then only I should capture it. So what I'll do, I'll add initially as not. Not is null of department name. That means if it is not null, then the record should be given to the next level. So click on validate, click on OK, click on OK, click on OK button. After that, link these fields to your target, like employee number, employee name, salary, commission, department number, department name and location. Save the mapping. Open the workflow manager, and as we made some changes in the mapping, try to get that new changes to here by saying right click on refresh mapping. So what are the changes are made? The changes we brought here. then save this, repository menu, save, and then execute it. So previously we got 15 rows, but now we are trying to reject this particular last record because it doesn't have department name and location. We will truncate the table data once, truncate table, tgt underscore emp underscore dept, select star from tgt underscore emp underscore dept. It is saying as a no rows. Execute the workflow. Simple, I'll say workflows menu, start workflow. And if you come to the workflow monitor, it's showing as running and it's showing me as succeeded. So previously we got all the 15 rows including with Ravi record, but now that last record will not come, only 14 records will present. Select star from tgt underscore emp underscore dept. So here if you observe, we got only 14 records. So the 9001 Ravi record we doesn't got it because we have implemented a filter condition. So like this you can use a lookup object for searching and for picking the values. In the similar way, we will try to take one more example on the lookup in next video.